Your busy life will wreck your French progress, and you'll end up either quitting or waiting until your golden years before you're fluent, unless you follow 4 really easy hacks that even the busiest person can do. In this video, I'll reveal what these hacks are so you can progress in French every single day without exhausting yourself trying to find an extra hour in a day already jam-packed with work commitments, family time, and moments with friends. Who said you can't have your cake and eat it too? But how do you make more French progress without sacrificing something when the rest of your day revolves around English and things totally unrelated to French? No matter how you look at it, it can seem impossible. Ooh, that cake is delicious. Well, the solution lies in something I'm calling habit hacking. Imagine 2 cars driving along, and in both, the little warning light is on telling you you're almost out of fuel. The cars are on 2 different roads. On one, you're cruising along in 5th gear with no red lights for miles, feeling like you can do anything. On the other, you're stopping at every red light, wishing the nightmare would just end. In your opinion, which car is more likely to reach the next service station that's 20 miles away? Considering you burn far more fuel when it's stop start than if you're cruising with momentum, my money's on the cruiser. It's the same if you have a very busy life with a strict separation between non-French and French commitments. Just as it's likely you'll break down in the car that's stopping all the time at red lights before you can fill up, you're much more likely to postpone your daily French when you keep trying to tack it on to the end of an already exhausting workday, a day that you can't wait to finish, or a weekend where you don't want to have a strict routine. But you know that consistency is essential in order to one day speak fluent French. So in order to get French done, even as a busy person, your only option is to hack your existing habits, or to jump into the slipstream, if you will, of the existing tasks you already do on autopilot, because they are already getting done no matter what. That way, like the car from earlier, you make it to the service station, fill up your tank, and keep on cruising. In other words, you do all the things you want and need to do while becoming proficient at French at the same time. That is what these 4 hacks are all about. Getting more French into your day without running the risk of breaking down or giving up altogether, because we don't want that. Hack numéro 1 costs you literally 10 seconds max and will result in you immersing in French all day, every day, if you do it right. Immersion, by the way, is absolutely the best way to naturally learn vocab and grammar, but most of us don't do enough of it, myself included in the past, simply because it's uncomfortable being immersed and to not understand what's said, isn't it? One of the keys to making immersion comfortable and therefore easy to achieve is to leverage context. You might see totally new words in French, and out of context, you wouldn't have a clue what they meant, right? But surround them or cake them in familiar context, and you will know what they are straight away. The easiest way in a busy life to do this is to change the language of your everyday electronic devices to French. Your phone, your tablet, your laptop, the interface in your car, your smart devices like Google Home, and you swipe and click around your devices all day without reading the words on menus or buttons. Think about it. How often do you actually consciously recognize the words that are written there? No, thanks to context and familiarity, you just know that the box underneath a Facebook post is for a comment. Now you'll see the word commentaire and instantly understand it. You'll see the download icon on your Mac, but now with the word téléchargement next to it instead, and soon associate that word with the icon just like you've done in English thousands and thousands of times throughout your life. This is easy immersion and anyone can do it, and it really helps build your vocabulary in a natural way. And if you follow the next point, you'll get double the benefit of immersion. What if I told you you could easily rack up 30 hours of French exposure in the next 6 months by doing what you're already doing? If you're anything like me and millions of other people, you spend more time looking at your phone than you'd like on a typical day, right? Those dog and cat videos are just addictively adorable, I know, particularly in moments when you're tired. The lure of these videos and this type of content is stronger in moments when you're tired or when you're avoiding doing a certain difficult task. In these moments, you turn to your phone for an escape. We all do it, and the apps are designed to keep us watching. 30 seconds can easily turn into 20 minutes or even an hour, and that's time you could use for French, and here's how. While in non-French learning related cases I would recommend breaking a phone addiction, we can actually use apps like YouTube, Instagram, TikTok, etc. to our advantage. You see, with everything you view, the app learns about your preferences and viewing habits, and this is great for getting yourself to watch more stuff in French without effort. To do this, create new accounts on the platforms you use on a daily basis. These will come with a clean slate. Start searching for content in French by using French keywords and set the language to French. And the app will quickly learn that what you want to see is stuff in the French language. It will effectively think of you as a native French speaker. To reach your goal of constant progress in French, you need to spend a lot of time immersed in French. There's no getting away from it. And since we're already spending downtime in our day on our phones watching stuff as a distraction or an escape, why not do it in French and at least benefit from it? Those 10 minutes you spend on the toilet to avoid your family or your boss can now get you closer to your goal in French. 10 minutes more a day adds up to 30 hours of immersion in 6 months. Before you know it, you're fluent in all those cute dog and cat videos because, yup, elles existent en français aussi. Hopefully you can see by these hacks that what we're trying to achieve is the result of having more French in our day with as little effort as possible. When you're scrolling through videos and letting the platform decide what you watch, it's one less decision for you to make. And when you're tired and busy, that is an excellent way to go about staying consistent. Ask me at the end of a long day to cook dinner, take a shower, check in with friends, and take the time to find a video where I understand 20% of the words. I might muster the motivation once or twice a week, but more than that is rare. So by letting these platforms make the decision for us, French gets done, especially when we can't be trusted to do it ourselves. Another fantastic feature for this is the autoplay feature on YouTube. When I'm watching English content, I turn this off because I don't want to be addicted to the platform. Just one more is something I've said to myself thousands of times late at night when I'm scrolling on my phone, and honestly it's ruined my sleep and energy the next day. But when the goal became to force more French into my day so I progressed faster, the autoplay feature of YouTube and today's sponsor, LingoPie, became a blessing. Let's face it, it's uncomfortable being uncomfortable, and that's how it feels when watching French content as a foreigner. But whether it's at the gym lifting weights, training for a half marathon, or overcoming a personal trauma, it's in the discomfort where the growth happens the most. It's the same with French, so it's great that YouTube and LingoPie allow you by default to continue to the next video automatically. It makes it more likely you'll spend more time in the language, and remember, in just a few months, a few minutes a day adds up to hours and hours immersed in French. If you don't know about LingoPie, it's like the Netflix of language learning tools. It's a video on-demand platform with hundreds of shows and films in the French language. Once you've set the language to French, you're immersed. And so all the videos in the catalogue are in French, which means there's no chance of you clicking on an English language video just to have a little break from the discomfort, which, admit it, can happen to the strongest of us on YouTube, for example. And like I mentioned, once an episode finishes, it'll automatically load the next one so that just one more becomes a virtuous cycle rather than a vicious cycle where you're spending more time in the language you want to learn and reaching fluency faster. You can show subtitles in French, English, both at once with what they call mashup, or turn them off altogether. So you can configure it to match your needs and energy levels at that time. And you can click the words and expressions to get an instant translation in English. The transcript shows to the side of the video, unless you hide it of course, so you can read ahead if you choose, for added context and comprehension. You can even test your pronunciation with their Say It feature. And since we're talking about attaching French to your existing habits, LingoPie helps with that too, in that it can be used with your favourite Netflix shows. With their free Chrome browser extension, you can watch Netflix with the power of LingoPie built in. For viewers of French in Plain Sight, you can get a free trial and 70% off a lifetime subscription to LingoPie via the special link down in the video description. So go and check that out at the end of the video. It's extremely helpful to map out your typical week of habits, and you'll be surprised by some of the things you can note down. But by doing this, you're going to find tons of creative ways you can get French into that slipstream of existing habits and progress with little to no effort. The overall theme of this video, of course, is habit hacking, but there's a concept called habit stacking that is just one of the ways to make your day more French. Habit stacking is when you take a habit and you associate French with it, either before you perform the habit, after the habit, or as part of the habitual activity itself. For example, do you read before bed? Well, get yourself the French version of a novel you've read in English, or a totally new story, up to you, and put it next to your bed along with the English book. Before you give yourself the treat of reading the English book, set a goal of reading a page in your French book. Boom, you've stacked French on top of an existing habit. When you're out running or commuting to work, listen to a French podcast instead of some English language music you've listened to 1,000 times. If that's too much of a challenge, listen for 5 minutes before rewarding yourself with the music you love. You don't have to replace all the time you spend with the other habit, you just integrate French into it. Because the goal is to get more French in and to feel good about it, rather than resenting it. So if you currently never commute or exercise while listening to French, then 5 minutes is already an achievement. Developing new healthy habits is hard, so let an existing habit do the heavy lifting. There are so many other ways to combine an existing habit with new French habits you want to build. It all depends on your routine. A tiny bit of effort up front will get you hours and hours of time spent in the language that you didn't think you had. The thing is, spending time in the language is one thing, but understanding spoken French is another, isn't it? So you need to watch this video next so I can help you with that. Bon alors, je finis mon petit dessert, le temps que tu fasses ça. Vas-y, j'attends.